Armand de Mestral. I teach, among other things, a course in public international air law in our Institute of Comparative Law at the Faculty of Law at McGill University. One of the very interesting issues that has arisen in the last couple of years relating to the European Union and its relations to Canada and many other countries is the decision by the European Union to extend its general emissions trading scheme, which already has been applied within the EU to heavy industry, as of January 1st, 2012, has been applied to all aircraft flying in and out of the EU, regardless of their nationality and registration. And it applies to the full length of the flight of the aircraft in question, not just the distance traveled over the EU. Environmentalists find this to be a remarkable and very important step because air pollution from aircraft is a significant contributor to carbon emissions, at least 3% of global carbon emissions. The international aviation community, on the other hand, has responded on the whole rather negatively because it's felt generally that the solutions should be reached multilaterally and not unilaterally. The EU has responded by saying, well, the International Civil Aviation Organization has had 10 years to develop a scheme and has failed to do so, and therefore the Commission felt it should move ahead. There has been very serious negative response from China, India, the United States. The government of Canada so far has not responded, but one can presume that the Canadian airlines are concerned about the cost of this, particularly as it would appear that the EU may be giving subsidies to European airlines to cover the additional cost. So that this remains a very serious political and source of political and legal differences between the EU and many other countries. Now, it does raise, it seems to me, the fact that the EU has, I think, quite credibly presented itself as one of the global leaders of efforts to deal with international climate change and particularly with carbon emissions. And I think it's very much to the honor of the EU that it has done so. The problem arises when it attempts to apply this unilaterally to third countries and industries outside the EU. But it seems to me that EU environmental law in general is of very great interest, comparative interest for Canadians, North Americans generally. And although Canada has done a lot in the past, I think we're in a situation now where we have a lot to learn from the European Union.